All right, so we're back with another video. So just to recap, so in the last video here, we had done some more work on the HTML elements, did some styling, got most of the functionality down. So let's just get these last finishing touches, add some buttons here. Now I had found a little bug, sort of an oversight when we generate um, the um, the solution. Sometimes, depending on how the random numbers go in there, it actually cannot be solved. So we want to make sure that we return true on that function. So I'll show you in a second here what I mean. So when we generate random Sudoku, we want to. I added this code right here to just basically um, make sure that we capture the true out of solve Sudoku. So prior to that, we only just had that solve Sudoku there and just returned. But we want to add this little while loop. So just make sure that while successful equals false. So if this did not go through, then let's zero out the board again, starting board as well, and regenerate one. And so we just do that until it's successful. So sometimes it takes one or two attempts. So yeah. Okay, so let's see what else we need to do here. So let's add some styling. Get these buttons up top here. Style this mistakes div. Let's go up top here. So we have a bunch of other things that we need to add. So let's do game progress. Let's do a margin 10, 0, 10, 0. Display grid. Grid template columns. We'll do one frame. So basically half there. Split in half. Okay, header. We're going to do display grid. Do the width 454. Justify self. Put that in the center there. Do a margin top. Okay. Then let's grab that errors div. Set a color for it. So we're gonna do kind of an orange. So EB6533. Let's take a look again. So here we go. Got a little space at the top there. This looks a little better. Okay, let's. We're gonna add some more styles here, and then we'll resume with the HTML tags and functions later on. But while we're here, let's just get this done. So I know the timer I'm gonna want. So what I did here is I have a container, and we got these two. The timer is gonna go here. The buttons are gonna go up top there. Okay, so we got the timer there. Put that text align right. The game over dialog. We want to apply some styling to that as well. So here, let's just throw in some errors. So this is what it looks like right now. Let's add a little bit of style here. So do a width, a quick look, little height, text align, center. Okay, align content as well, center. Font size, we'll do like 20 pixels. Make it bold as well, 600. Okay, so that's what that's going to look like now. There you go. So we want to add the button in here as well. We didn't do that. We just had a placeholder. So yeah. So let's go ahead and add a say button on click. We're going to add a function to close the dialog, close game over dialog. It's a function, and we're going to say type blue, because you'll see in a second we're going to have like green buttons, blue buttons, and style them differently. Okay, so let's go ahead and style the buttons as well. So the actual button element will apply to all of them. So we could do general stuff like border radius, do the padding, cursor pointer, do no border on it. Color of the font will be white. That's FFF. Min width will do 100 pixels, so they're all the same size. And then each one will have, like I said, different colors. So let's style the button with the type green. Let's give it a background of dark green. And then we'll do a hover on that as well. So button type green. I'm sorry, hover. Okay, we'll do green. Okay, and then button type blue. We'll do a background of dark blue, and then the hover on that will be background blue. Okay, so let's add those buttons in. So in where are they here? Buttons at the top there. So let's do the first one. We're gonna do new game. So we'll say new game, and that will be a type green. Second one we'll do button type green as well, and that will be restart game. And then the third one here we'll do blue. Okay, and that will be the solve. Okay, so let's take a look at that. So by adding the type, then we can pinpoint exactly which buttons to apply the CSS to. Okay, let's add the functionality to the buttons. So the new game should start the new game. So we'll say on click, new game. And then for this one here, oops, on click, this one will say restart game. So we're going to have to write these functions right away. On click, this one will be solve game. Okay, so let's go down and get these, add these functions to the JavaScript. So the new game we already have. Okay, so we got new game there. Now I've added, I don't think I had this in the last video, I've added this in there because here, I'll just comment it out and show you what happens if we don't clear the HTML inside, which means all of the child nodes, then they're just going to keep appending. So the new game is there. Okay, yeah. So basically this is what happens if you don't clear that HTML. So let's add this comment, or delete that comment there. Okay, so basically we get the board div, and then we blank out the HTML. So here's a new game, completely new array. All works. And for the restart game is going to be the exact same thing. We just want to, I'll just add it here. Just want to keep the array though, so we don't want to generate a new one. We want to basically just blank out, revert back to the starting board array. And we'll call that restart game. So let's see what that looks like. So if we're in the middle of the game, say we are sort of there, restart game, we'll just take all of our progress and just restart this particular game with this particular starting array. If we go new game, it will give us a completely new game, randomly generated. Let's get the solve function in there as well. The solve function be tiny bit different. So we'll just write this one out. Function solve game. So that will be so let's just check. Check the if the game has started. Because if you're not in a game, then there's nothing to solve. So just do iteration here. So rows less than 9, r++. Inside of that, we'll do the columns. Let c equal 0, c less than 9, c++. Oops. Okay, and then we will say let tile document get element by ID. And so the tile, again, the IDs are going to be R, and then there's going to be a dash and a C. So we want to target, we want to iterate through and grab all of these tiles and say if tile inner text is nothing, then let's go ahead and give the solution. Inner text equals board array. So that's the solved array. And we're going to put each one of those on there. And that, let's add a color so that, oops, red. Okay. Just so that we can differentiate between the tiles that you've entered and the tiles that have been automatically saved. Now at the end here as well, we want to after the for, we want to set the game over state to true. Game is over. So that's what that will look like. So if we solve it, there we go. So the game is over. You cannot add any more numbers or anything. Okay, and we can restart this game again. Okay, so what else do we need here? We need to add the timer. So the timer, let's go up top here and get some global variables to keep track of the time. So after this, let's just save our timer element. So that will be the HTML element. So we'll say get element by ID, and I think it's just called timer. Yeah, so timer. So we want timer as timer lm. Okay, and then timer start. Set that to 0, and then global timer. Global timer will be the actual interval. So let's add the timer to all of our functions here. So in the new game, so when we start a new game, we want to start the timer, and when we end the game, we want to end the timer. So when it says game started, let's add start timer as a function, and we're gonna have to write that function. So let's just add it here. So this will be the start timer function. Okay. So what do we want to do? So first we want to clear whatever interval there is. Just so we don't have a whole bunch of them running at the same time. It takes up CPU. So timer lm is the div. So set the inner text to timer 0000, and the global timer is the one that we initialized at the top there. So timer start will be date now. Global timer set interval. This interval. This is what starts the whole thing. So function, and we'll say it's a bit of code here because we want to display it correctly here. We want to have minutes and seconds, and JavaScript doesn't really work well with time, so I'm gonna have to do this the long way. So we'll say the delta is date now minus timer start, and then let total seconds will be math floor. Delta divided by 1000. So we're dealing with milliseconds. Let minutes be math floor. We'll do total seconds divided by 60. And then the seconds will be math floor. Whoops, that's not what I want. Math floor. And we'll do total seconds minus, and then we'll say minutes times 60. Okay, and then timer element, we're going to update that to timer, and then say, so again, we want to format this correctly. So I don't know, there might be a better way of doing this, but this is the best way that I've kind of figured out here. Is you add this string and then say plus minutes, and then slice it. No, that's not what okay, slice it with -2 there, and then add the colon there and do the same thing for the seconds. Okay. And then put a 100 milliseconds. So because sometimes what happens is the timer lags. So if you do every second, then eventually a second will be a second and some milliseconds. So it's continuously going to lag. Okay, so that's the start timer, and this is the stop timer. Let's write that. That will just be clear interval of that global timer that we had initialized there. Okay, so then let's start the timer. Okay, so we did add that, so let's just test that out. Let's see if we messed anything up. Okay, so the timer is going. And we have to stop the timer once the game is over. So let's simulate game over. So the timer is still running, so we have to stop that. Oh yeah, here's the game over with the new button. Right, then I have to write this function as well. Okay, let's just do that first. So when you, let me think here, so close game over dialog. What did we say here? Button on click, close game over dialog. So let's write a quick little function here. So that's just gonna be this, and it will just be game over dialog. Close. So let's test that out. Let's make sure that works. Let's do a quick game over. Okay, cool. So there you go. And let's stop this timer on game over. So that is in where did I put it? In change tiles, I believe. So solve game, click tile, and then when we change the tile, this is what triggers the the winning or the game over. So on game over here, we'll say stop timer. Okay, so let's test that out. So let's just, I have to put that in there. Okay, so let's see. Okay, we get it wrong and game over. And the timer is stopped now. And we can no longer add any other numbers. Okay, and let's restart the game. So we want to restart the timer once we click on restart game. So let's add start timer to that as well. So let's find restart game, and right here we'll say start timer. Okay, and then we want to stop the timer on solve. Solve, game over, and we'll say stop timer. All right, so where does that leave us? That's about it, I think. So let's see. We have the input from the keyboard. We have the input through here. We have the hover there. We got the functionality, the buttons, got the timer. Click solve, it stops. Game over. Cannot add any more numbers. Restart game. Restarts this game with the same exact starting array. The timer restarts. Keep track of the mistakes. We have new game, completely new generated game. And I showed you guys what that bug was that I had found. It was a oversight on my part. So we just want to make sure that when we run solve Sudoku to create the solution array, we return a value and then check if that's true, because if that's not true, then we have to do it again. So then we re-initialize the two arrays, two zeros, and then we run the generate random Sudoku again, and then return the new array. And so sometimes that might happen once in a while. Okay, so yeah, this is and you can customize this however you want. You know, you can add scores in here. You can do like a leaderboard. You can do all kinds of things. You can save games if you want. Save the game state. Make this available for your phone. You know, do anything you'd like, and the same principles you can apply to just about anything, right? So yeah, thanks for watching.